CBS 6 Sports, sponsored by Toyota.
Good evening, everyone, from the Robins Center, where the Richmond Spiders will open their season tonight at the top of the hour against Mount Olive University, a Division II program out of North Carolina. This is just the third time in Chris Mooney's 2 decades here with the Spiders that they have faced a non-Division I opponent during the regular season, but it follows a trend in which several teams like VCU and Old Dominion are also having to take part. Playing this game will not help or hurt the Spiders in their overall net ratings. These games cannot factor into that end-of-season metric.
Congress is working to approve a short-term spending bill that will keep the government open through March 14th. Why is that in the Sportscast? Because in the bill is a provision that would transfer the land on which RFK Stadium sits from federal control to the District of Columbia, a big step in what could become a new home for the Commanders. The lease at Northwest Stadium in Landover runs through the 2027 season. It is now time to present our final 2 awards of the evening. On behalf of everyone here at CBS 6, the Touchdown Club of Richmond, and our panel of voters, it is my honor to announce that the winner of this year's Willie Lanier Award is running back Jada Byers of Virginia Union. He is just the second Panther to win the Lanier and the first player in history to win it twice after being honored in 2022. He is with us here tonight. Congratulations. I know there's a bunch of people that you'd like to thank. Who are they?
I just want to give thanks to the man above for giving me the opportunity.
There figured to be history made at this year's A-10 championship game, but it was not the kind for which VCU was hoping. While Duquesne goes to the NCAA tournament for the first time since the original Star Wars movie came out, the Rams will have to settle for being part of turning a potential blowout into a one-possession game and giving themselves several chances to pull off a stunning comeback.
I've seen a lot of these conference championship games, and when you get down by that margin, sometimes it continues to steamroll. And this team wouldn't have it. It's because we have, great kids in that locker room, and they began to, create some momentum and positivity and fight that I'm really proud of.
Like, obviously this isn't great, but I don't think the result, changes what we have in our locker room. So I think that's a blessing.
To really just see all of us come together and really be on the same page and want to win the game, and that run was a huge part of the game.
This team willed its way into a championship situation with 40 minutes. And it'd be a shame for it to end right now because they have more to give.
The Rams held the tournament's most outstanding players scoreless in the second half. Max Shulga and Joe Bamasil made the all-tournament team, and for the 14th consecutive year, the A-10 has a new champion. From the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, Lane Casadante, CBS 6 Sports. Two years ago, the Squirrels won the first half title to secure a playoff spot. Last year, they had a torrid second half to go back-to-back. What the players learned from that experience last year was just as valuable as the community excitement that it generated.
The work that you put in and seeing success is the same when you suck or when you're good. So when you go on those runs, it shows, hey, the work is the same no matter what. And the work is the work, and you do it, and you go out and you compete your butt off. But you're just waiting for those good runs to happen.
Winning at that level is a little different. Everything's close. You have no idea what's going to happen. Like, it could be the 9th inning, you're up 5, there's a chance you lose. Like, it could happen. Like, everybody in every lineup can hit a home run. It's a little scary, a little nerve-wracking, but it's fun.
Just I feel like the team kind of came together where it's just everyone's more relaxed, everyone's comfortable, and when you're comfortable, you play a lot better, and that's kind of where we were at that point in the season.
That playoff push was fun. It was different for me, obviously. I wasn't with the team from the halfway point all the way through, so I jumped in as soon as the playoff push started, and as soon as I got there, I said, let's try to get to a playoff. Let's try to get to the playoffs and see if we can win something.
If the Squirrels can make the playoffs again this year, it will mark the first time Richmond has seen at least 3 straight playoff appearances since the Richmond Braves did it 6 times in a row, all the way back from 1978 to 1983. In Scottsdale, Arizona, Lane Casadante, CBS 6 Sports.
I need to showcase my talent.
All right, what else is this game about, this rivalry game? Let's get the vibe down on the field. Let's check in with Lane Casadante. Lane?
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. You know, for 135 years, Richmond and William & Mary haven't always met as conference opponents. For the last few decades, they have. That's going to end today with Richmond moving to the Patriot League. Both of these head coaches say they really want to keep this rivalry going for obvious reasons. And next year, it will be the final game of each of their seasons. After that, it'll probably be sprinkled somewhere earlier in the fall. And both of these head coaches know more about this game than anybody. This is Russ Huesman's 26th game between Richmond and William & Mary all time. He's 21-4 in those. This is Mike London's 20th game. He's 9-10. Coach, I'm not kissing you, but congratulations. This team has come up big all year. And in the biggest game, when you really wanted it the most, probably one of your best games of the season.
Defensively, unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. Those guys played so hard. I mean, that team's averaging 440 yards a game and fourth in the country in rushing. Our guys stepped up, man, big time. I was so proud of the defense today. And then offensively, we did enough. I mean, in the second half, we had a 15-play drive and a 12-play drive to put that thing away. So really, and in special teams, we were good on special teams. So excellent job by everybody.
I'm Lane Casanante, the sports director at CBS 6 here in Richmond, alongside three-time state open champ Robert Wren. Robert, I don't know. We have seen a lot of great golf out of Jay Woodson over his career, growing up here, playing here so many times. How much do you think this round surprises him today?
Well, in some ways it does. In some ways it doesn't. I saw him after his round yesterday, shot even par yesterday. Very disappointed that he didn't get more out of it. He said, I'm actually playing pretty well. And he went out and showed it today.
Welcome back to the State Open of Virginia. Sponsored by Estes.
First playoff hole here at the State Open of Virginia, and Logan Wiley has just sank it from 30 feet for a birdie.
Unbelievable. Jay Woodson thought that he might have the advantage because he's on the exact same line.
Good Saturday morning, Central Virginia. We close the book on our 30th season of Final Score Friday with the cheerleaders from Highland Springs. And our game of the week between the top two teams in our most recent coaches poll. Number 1, Varina, hosting number 2, Huguenot. A rematch from last year's postseason, won by the Blue Devils by a single point. And at least heading into this week, this game figured to be just as competitive. Varina, the last team to beat Huguenot, that gave the Falcons the revenge factor. Huguenot also set school records for points per game and total points in the season, scoring over 55 each time out, while the Blue Devils allowed less than 13 points a game coming in. Varina had won 4 of the previous 5 against Huguenot, including the last 2 postseason games. First quarter, Blue Devils strike behind Caleb Weiss, who hits Damari Carter for a 17-yard touchdown, and the point after makes it 7-0 Varina. Later in the first, more from the Blue Devils. Miles Anderson follows his blocks, gets into the end zone, 16-yard score, 13-0 Varina at the half. Weiss would score again from 20 yards out, or he would take it down to the Huguenot 4 rather. That would lead to a Devin Anderson touchdown run. They would also get a block punt for a score. All Varina as they cruise 26-0 over the Falcons, and they will be in next week's 4B regional final. Whenever we see someone unusually tall, we wonder if they play basketball, which isn't always fair to the person in question. But it's just as unfair to assume the opposite about someone who is not particularly tall. Close to 40% of kids ages 6 to 14 play basketball in America, and it is the most popular sport among teenagers in the U.S. And as one young man in Goochland shows us, height has nothing to do with love for the game.
Skyler, roll it for me. Got another one.
Wes Farkas has been teaching and coaching at Goochland High School for over 2 decades. He's their baseball coach, but you should hear him talk about the kid he coaches in basketball.
Probably 80-85% shooter. When we play one-on-one, he's a lockdown defender. We play, he's got a secret. I don't know if I should share this on TV, but he's got his double shoulder move that I can't get around him.
Farkas describes a special kind of player, and you don't know how right he is.
He is the first one to the basketball, the last one to put it away. Like he'll tell you, he's fired up every time he gets a chance to touch the basketball.
Coach Farkas' star pupil is Connor Emmert, who has become the darling of Goochland's unified basketball team. Connor was born with primordial dwarfism, a condition so rare there are only about 200 cases worldwide.
There you go, Connor.
What's even more rare, regardless of his stature, is Connor's enthusiasm and positivity, not just for himself, but for his teammates.
The way he plays, you would never know that he had those disadvantages. I mean, he plays like he is equal to all the other opponents. So just to see his attitude out there is just it's amazing.
Well, not everybody is big basketball players. We want to work together and be good, do good teamwork and passion. We work hard together.
Connor has endured 2 brain surgeries and another for spinal fusion to correct scoliosis. You can imagine his parents' apprehension about letting him out of their sight. But the Emirates are an athletic family, and Connor would be no different.
We didn't baby him. I mean, certain things that we had to help him a little bit more with, but in terms of everything else, he was, chastised by his siblings and teased a little bit and given a hard time just as anybody else. He followed us around on the fields, football field for his brother, soccer field for his sister, basketball courts. We were a very athletic family in terms of, very involved with that, and so he saw that.
Through Goochland's Unified Sports program, Connor has had the chance to try all different kinds of sports and activities. And he's given those around him a new perspective, not just on him and kids like him, but on themselves as well.
Yeah, there's a kind of an innocence about it. They just love being out there for the pure love of the game. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Everybody cheer me and all my teammates on.
It has been such an amazing, impactful thing for Connor. I mean, it's not that it's changed his life, but it's definitely allowed him to just kind of prosper and do well in a way that he typically hasn't had the opportunity to do so.
Connor participated in the Special Olympics State Games for the first time this year, which was a huge accomplishment. But all that any parent can ask is that the world treat their child with the kindness they would receive at home. Connor's first unified game in front of the student body erased many of the doubts and fears his mom had about his surroundings.
And it literally brought me to tears. I mean, happy tears, of course, but that was a very emotional moment based on the fact that I've never, knowing that he's accepted.
All right, 6-1.
Feel a lot more secure knowing that he's going to be fine. He knows what he's doing.
Connor just wrapped up his first year in Special Olympics and plans to run track this spring. If you're interested in participating or volunteering with their program, just log on to specialolympicsva.org. And if you'd like to nominate someone for us to profile, email us at beyondtheroster@wtvr.com.